Kagaribi 10 happened this past weekend in Japan, and it is the biggest Smash tournament that has happened in a long time. Not since EVO 2019 has a tournament of this caliber happened. Whoever placed well at this tournament ensured themselves a spot in the conversation for top 10 in the world, as well as prestige beyond belief. Kagaribi 10 was, arguably, the most important post-lockdown Smash tournament in the world. Today we'll be going over the top 8 of this insanely stacked tournament, going over their bracket runs, who they defeated, and how they did. Let's get this party started. Our 7th place finishers for Kagaribi 10 were Riddles and Mia. That's right, Mia, winner of Mayasuma Top 11 and runner-up at Mayasuma Top 12, and Riddles, 3rd at Mayasuma 12 and winner of the Big House 10, both got 7th at Kagaribi. Let's talk about Mia first, because I'm sure that's who you're all wondering about. Mia started off the weekend well, sweeping through his pool. Or at least that's what I would have said if he had indeed swept through his pool. Unfortunately, Mia suffered an upset loss in winners finals of pools against Metara, a Meta Knight player in a Game 5 set. That's right, Mia got sent to losers in pools. For most other players, this would spell disaster and ruin for his bracket run. But not Mia. Mia went on the losers run of a lifetime. You remember how at Mayasuma Top 12, Mia got sent to losers early and won the most sets out of anyone in the top 8, winning 11 sets to make it to Grands? Well, Mia won 12 sets at Kagaribi 10 this weekend, getting wins against some of the best in Japan. Mia started off his losers run by beating Hungrybox 3-1, which means, yes, that HBox took a game off of Mia. My goat. Mia then got 3 wins, running over Obi, Ritashia, and Fui. Now, this is already a 4-set losers run, but it was here that things got insane. Mia got a streak of wins against globally recognized players. Ready for this list? On his way to top 8, Mia defeated Send, 13th at Mayasuma 12 in a 3-0 set. Gact, 3rd at Mayasuma 12, 3-0. Umeki in a 3-0. Yara, the person who sent Spargo to losers in a 3-1 set, and Zomba in a Game 5 set to make it to top 8. This is an incredibly impressive streak of wins, and excluding the set against Zomba, none of them went to a decisive game, displaying Mia's dominance over some of the best in Japan.
Letting the people know. I love that lightning bear. Okay, opportunity. Up smash. My God.
Early kill, I don't blame him. Probably would have killed him 40. Oh,
F-chair. Yeah.
F-tilt saves it for the...
However, unfortunately for Mia, his first set in top 8 was against Spargo, someone else who was sent to losers criminally early. That's right, Kagaribi 10 saw Spargo and Mia fighting for 7th. That's how stacked and insane this tournament was. The two fought hard, Spargo utilizing his rarely seen Aegis to combat Mia. Unfortunately for Mia, Spargo was just too much of an insurmountable obstacle. Mia lost 3-1, being eliminated at 7th. As the 3rd seed, this is a massive underperformance for Mia, but considering the circumstances, this really was the best he could have done, and Mia got one of the most impressive losers runs of the entire tournament. Note, one of the most impressive. We've got some other losers runs coming up. Now for our other 7th place finisher, Riddles. Again, just like Mia, it is insane to see Riddles so far down in the top 8, but this was just that kind of tournament. Unlike Mia, Riddles actually did sweep through his pool, making it out without dropping a single game. Riddles then got 2 very impressive wins back-to-back, beating Jay Dizzle and Kome. Kome is the best Shulk player in the world and top 8 finisher at Wave 4, and Jay Dizzle is one of the best players in Australia. Do I have any Australian fans? I know I have at least one of them. If you're watching from Australia, leave a comment saying so. And if you're not watching from Australia, leave a comment saying that you are so that I won't be able to tell who's actually Australian or not. Either way, much like Mia, Riddles would suffer an upset loss very early on. He lost to Dio, Japan's best snake and 2nd best snake in the world. Notably, Riddles lost Game 5 to this insane play by Dio utilizing the town and city platforms.
Oh, fuck!
Careful! No! No!
By the way, can we just talk about how Riddles looks so dead inside at the end of this clip? And Last is just staring at him so hilariously. Anyway, Riddles went on an impressive losers run, albeit not nearly as long or impressive as Mia's, but still good. Riddles defeated Shuton, winner of Wave 4 in a Game 5 set, Lima, top 8 finisher at Collision 2023 in a Game 5 set, and Omuwatsu, top 8 finisher at Wave 4 in a 3-0. That's a very impressive streak of 3 wins. Riddles then defeated Masha to make top 8, and I know this is the second time I've interrupted Riddles' segment, but I just need to say something. Can we talk about Masha? They got 9th at a tournament like Kagaribi 10 as the 45th seed, defeating Dio and Kameme in the process and only losing to Riddles and Yoshidora. But I've seen no one talking about this guy. Someday this dude's gonna go on a massive run at a Japanese major and everyone will be like, oh my god, this guy came out of nowhere. But you and me, dear viewers, we'll know. We'll always have known. Anyways, Riddles went on to face DeBuzz for his first set of top 8 in a Team Liquid friendly fire incident. And you might have expected Riddles to sweep DeBuzz here, except, have you forgotten that we were on our 7th place finisher segment? With the pop-off to prove it, DeBuzz defeated Riddles in a Game 5 nail-biter set, eliminating his fellow Liquid teammate at 7th place. Riddles got upset fairly early, both in winners and losers bracket, but that's just what happens at a tournament as stacked as this. Now we move on to our 5th place finishers, Hera and Yoshidora. Again, Yoshidora isn't a name you'd expect this low, but it was better than their 7th place finish at Mayasuma Top 12. In fact, ironically enough, the 5th place finishers at Kagaribi 10 were the exact same 2 players that finished 7th at Mayasuma Top 12. What a fun coincidence. We started off that video talking about Hera, so let's start with Yoshidora this time. Yoshidora started off the weekend strong, sweeping through his pool, only getting taken to a decisive game once against Yuta, and 3-0ing Yez to make it out of pools. Yoshidora perhaps had the simplest and most standard bracket that we've covered so far. He went on a good streak in winners, defeating Alice 3-1, Jazo 3-0, Taike 3-0, and defeating Masha 3-1 in winners semis, who we just talked about. Now Yoshidora was in the real winners semifinals, going up against Acola. These two have fought many times, and this set went down to a decisive Game 5, but in the end. Yoshidora dropped down to losers quarterfinals, going up against Spargo, the slayer of the losers bracket. And with a name like that, I bet you can guess how Yoshidora fared. 3-1 loss to Spargo, Yoshidora was eliminated at 5th, but losing to Acola and Spargo is perhaps the least mad you could be about 2 losses. Now for our other 5th place finisher, Hero, which according to YouTube commenter CU9 is pronounced Hero actually. And since the internet would never lie to me, I'll be saying it that way for the rest of this video. If it ends up being wrong, I'm sure the comments will tell me. Either way, Hero had an amazing weekend at Kagaribi 10, cementing himself as a household name across the world. He started off by sweeping his pool without dropping a game, but facing a close call in the form of a Game 5 set with Karage immediately after leaving pools. Hero was able to clutch it out, being able to move on. You might remember Hero's performance at Mayasuma Top 12 being a streak of Game 5s and close sets, but Hero was not looking to repeat that stress here at Kagaribi. Hero went on a pretty small streak of non-decisive sets, defeating YOC 3-1 and Yara in winners quarters 3-1. Hero then went on to more decisive sets, going up in winners top 8 qualifier against Ken. Hero would win this game into Game 5, making top 8 and going up in winners semifinals against Zachary.
Oh no, this is dangerous. Ledge trap.
Spot and Harold covers.
That's
the goal.
OD! Are you
Harold
kidding me?
covers
This set went down to the wire, and was one of the most fun to watch of the tournament, in my opinion. I just really admire how much fun both of these players seem to be having. But fun aside, when push came to shove,
Well,
You Barry!
no, wait.
That's
Is
not it.
enough?
That's
Not
not it.
yet. Not yet. Not yet. Oh my
Is it
God.
track down?
Dude,
Get
that's
the double
crazy!
up,
That's
double
the god!
up, tilt.
This guy's the
It's
god!
just
Oh
enough.
my goodness!
It's
We are
just
moving
enough.
forward! We're getting our winners finals, baby! Kagaribi!
Oh, my.
Hero was sent to losers in Game 5 by Zachary, dropping down to losers quarters, this time going up against Dabuz. Much like Yoshidora though, Hero wouldn't fare well in this match.
Good air, up air. Are we chasing? Yes,
Harold
sir!
cannot
Yo!
play.
Still alive. The DI.
Oh,
Oh
tries to get
my
his down
goodness.
smash, doesn't get it.
Straight to
This
the
might
ledge.
be it.
The Buzz working on his 0 to 10 to close out this set.
Dude.
Hero, how do you find your
Yo,
way back?
I'm sorry. My man, the Buzz.
Okay, not a 0 to death.
No, yep, that's right. That's right. And the Buzz is a whole ass villain.
Hero lost to Dabuz 3-1, bowing out of 5th. But as the 18th seed, Hero outplaced his seed when compared to his fellow 5th place finisher Yoshidora making their seed. Hero has had 2 wonderful tournament performances back to back with this and Mayasuma. Only time will tell if Hero will be able to keep this up permanently. Next is our 4th place finisher, Dabuz. Now, if you just had an insane case of whiplash hearing that name, I would not blame you. Dabuz has been faced with a myriad of subpar tournament placements recently, but Dabuz brought it this weekend at Kagaribi 10. But why? Lots of people believe that it's because Dabuz's slow and methodical playstyle succeeds way more in Japan's meta and typical playstyle rather than NA's fast-paced, aggressive strategies. And maybe that's true, but there's also the argument that Dabuz's characters are also a lot more common in Japan than they are in NA, so there's an argument to be made on both sides on whether or not Dabuz is more effective in Japan or NA. But we may also be seeing the beginning of a Dabuz renaissance, a Dabuzissance, if you will. At least that's what I'm certainly hoping for. After all, we are all da-blind, and he is delight. For da-hungry, he is da- Alright, I'll stop. Let's get into Dabuz's performance this weekend. So, guess what? Apparently, Kagaribi 10 was just the tournament for sick losers runs. I mean it, we already talked about Mia's legendary run, Riddle's having a small losers run, and now we have to talk about Dabuz's insane losers run that was just 1 set shorter than Mia's. And guess what? We haven't even gotten to the craziest losers run of the tournament yet. Can you believe that? Anyways, Dabuz at least made it through pools pretty good at Kagaribi, getting through only dropping 1 game to Mosen, who he beat 3-1 to make it out of pools. But that's when Dabuz came up against his own roadblock. He lost in a Game 5 upset to Taike, a Japanese Sonic main. Now, this was right out of pools. This was not looking good for Dabuz. His confidence may have been at an all-time low. But Dabuz saw delight and started the losers run. After beating Kanaji 3-1 in losers, Dabuz went on one of the most insane losers runs you've ever seen, and only the 3rd craziest of this top 8 alone. Now, me personally, I think this losers run is on par with or even more impressive than Mia's that we talked about earlier. Dabuz defeated Motsunabe 3-2, Abadango 3-1, and then Hikaru 3-2, a set that was notably streamed. Now, those were some impressive wins and a lot of close sets, but we ain't even started yet, dear viewers. Dabuz then defeated Dio, the snake who beat Riddles 3-2, Hurt, another snake main 3-2, which was also streamed.
But do it for Hurt, he's saying, I'm going to give you one, but Dabuz not going to let it happen, shielding at the right
Oh
times.
my
There it
God,
is!
there it
Three
is.
stock,
It's
baby!
Dabuz.
That's your
Get it
king!
to 3 stock, that is the king of New York.
And then Dabuz had to fight Paisetiman for the loser's top 8 qualifier. And Dabuz has gone the long way. He was in it for the long game, and he was here for the win. After this 3-2 win against Paisetiman, Dabuz went up against Riddles, which we talked about earlier, and won 3-2. Dabuz then defeated Hedo 3-1, which we just talked about, and guess what? This 3-1 over Hedo was the first time in literally 5 sets in a row starting the streak with his set against Hikaru. Dabuz's run, I believe, is more impressive than Mia's simply because of the caliber of players he had to beat, plus how hard he had to work in order to beat them. But then, for loser semis, Dabuz had to go up against Spargo, and even though Dabuz had come a long way, he ran out of steam.
Yo, my man Spargo's a menace, bro.
Dang.
Phase up, man.
Spargo's like, I'm going to 3-0 you with 3 stocks and that parry. Hold up.
Damn, man.
The Buzz isn't playing out
The
of
Buzz
his
doesn't deserve
head.
this, Spargo.
Oh
the
my
Buzz
God,
doesn't
you're
deserve
dead.
it, Spargo. Jeez, have some mercy.
Wow!
Dabuz lost to Spargo 3-0 and was eliminated as the 4th place finisher. But Dabuz had the loser's run of the lifetime, proving that he could do extremely well as long as he was able to perform under the right conditions. Now we get to our 3rd place finisher, Zachary. It's crazy to me how wild he is. How are you ever supposed to seed Zachary? Like, how do you go from getting 33rd as the first seed at Wave 4 to getting 3rd at the most important post-lockdown tournament of all time? I know that I'm glad not to be a Japanese TO. Zachary started off the weekend strong, starting off his pool by 2-0ing... Wait, is that... Adachi?
A detective who lives in Anaba. Adachi? Are we right? Adachi! We finally got one right! Finally! What's up, Adachi?
After his surely close encounter with Adachi, Zachary made it through the rest of pools without dropping a game. Compared to some of the other fantastical losers' runs of the other people in top 8, Zachary's run was fairly normal. In top 192, Zachary defeated Yaman Action 3-1, Send 3-0, and Noi 3-0 to make it into the top 8 winners qualifier against Zamba. Zachary would win this set 3-1, but Zamba had an impressive 9th place finish this weekend at Kagaribi anyways. Now in winners semifinals, Zachary went up against Hedo, which we talked about earlier, Zachary winning in game 5. Zachary then had to go up in winners finals against Acola. This set would go down to game 5, the definitive old guard versus the new guard set. But in the end, Zachary lost Game 5 to Acola, getting sent down into losers finals where he had to face the losers bracket beast that was Spargo. And nothing was going to stop Spargo from his mission. Zachary lost to Spargo 3-0, dropping out at third. But Kagaribi's signature player made an amazing run this weekend, although a very standard bracket run by this top 8 standards. Now we get to our top 2 finishers, Acola and Spargo. These two players were the two fighting it out for the victory at Kagaribi 10. Spargo's run was a long and hard-fought slog, while Acola's run was best described as yet another sweep. Acola not only didn't lose a set on his way to Grands, but was only taken to a decisive game twice outside of top 8. Acola started off by sweeping his pool, only dropping one game to Nizamamo. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Nizamamo is the exact same Bayo player who Acola beat to make it out of pools at Mayasuma Top 12, and was also the only player who took Acola to a decisive game that entire tournament. Honestly, Nizamamo's kind of underrated. Speaking of underrated players, Acola then had a game 5 with Monzoku. And if that name sounds familiar, it should, since Monzoku was the only player that took Yoshidora to a decisive game in his pool at Mayasuma Top 12. After that, Acola had a great run to make top 8, defeating Abadongo 3-0, Lima 3-1, and Paiseniman 3-1 to make top 8. Now in top 8, Acola had 2 close sets in a row, defeating Yoshidora and Zachary both in Game 5s, which we discussed in their segments, to make Grand's winner's side. Spargo, on the other hand, had the most impressive losers run of the entire tournament and was the slayer of the losers bracket. Spargo had absolutely no issues making it out of pools, not dropping a game, and took his first set of top 192 against Ritashita in a similar sweep. But then, at the exact same point that DeBuzz suffered his upset loss, Spargo suffered his own upset loss. Spargo lost 3-0 to Yara, who we've mentioned a few times and who is the best Samus in Japan right now. It was here that Spargo began his losers run to rival even Leo's at Frostbite. Spargo first beat Yamanaction, who we were just discussing, before defeating YOC 3-0, Ike 3-1, Ashimo 3-1, and most impressively Ken 3-2. Yes, Spargo and Ken fought for 9th. Now within top 8, Spargo became the slayer of the losers bracket. He defeated, as we've discussed before, Miya, Yoshidora, DeBuzz, and Zachary. These 4 wins alone are astronomical, not to mention his wins on Ken and Ashimo that he took to even make top 8. So now we have Gran. One player had swept his bracket, the other had slayed it, but there could be only one. And let me tell you, this set wasn't even close. Spargo defeated Acola, 3-1ing him in Grands and 3-0ing him in the reset, becoming the champion of Kagaribi 10. This win came with a lot of prestige. Spargo has now become the only NA player to win a Japanese major, and now I believe Spargo has the best possible claim to being the best player in the world right now. With Leo in a serious slump right now and Acola being handedly defeated by Spargo, there is almost no competition left. I believe Spargo is destined to become the best, if he isn't already, and ultimately, save Smash Bros. That's going to be it for today's video. If you have any thoughts on this tournament or what I should cover next, let me know down below. With that being said, it is 1:25 a.m. in the morning as I write this script, so I'm going to bed. I've been RisterMice, and thank you all so much for watching.